right, so welcome everyone to the Soul Station for Session 2, Lesson 3 on the subject of hate for a spiritual perspective with the spiritual bee. So what we're going to do for this session, we're going to start out with the blackboard. And as you recall, it's been a while. I've experienced some death in the family, and I'm just now getting back for your monthly reports. But I left you with an assignment to decipher in your own words what the meaning of hate is. What does it comprise of? So before we go into some scriptures, we're going to kind of jot down because, as I said before, we're trying to come up with a backronym, which I think means like turning a word. It's like giving it an acronym, making a word an acronym, but it's a backronym, right? So it's going to actually turn into a type of phrase, okay? So we're dealing with the subject of hate, okay? If you recall all of those scriptures from session 2, lesson 1, and lesson 2, we talked about the loose side of things, which is the love of us, which we're given a lot of order, it was like, don't hate your brother, how to treat your neighbor, and what hate does, and what God hates on the guilt side. God is love, guilt side of hate, and the orders of how to treat your brethren. It talked about how haters sow discord amongst the brethren, and how God hates people who cause discord and dissembles relationships out of attitude. It also talked about hidden hate, which was like the most dangerous hate, and how the Most High has a problem with that. So, as a teacher of sorts, I have learned that people live better when they can define things for themselves and not just go on how they've been taught, because many of us have been taught wrong, and we can't fault the past because they only gave us what they thought was right, okay? And we know that when it comes to hate, it deals with a lot of hostility, right? It deals with hostility, at least as far as I'm concerned, okay? It has a type of angst. It has a type of attitude attached to it, right? All right. And with T, it was not a lot, but we can deal with like turmoil, okay? Tumultuous behavior. This is the kind of assignment that I am giving you. You have to come up with your own thing. We may meet up in the middle, we may have some differences, but I am sure that once you define it for yourself, you can live up to your own expectations, okay? And when it comes to E, what I have found is that when it comes to hate, people feel entitled, okay? What do you mean by that? Okay, so nobody knows hate more than, say, melanated people, brown people, the black people, those enslaved, okay? We know hate like nobody else. But when you think about hate, not only is it an attitude which has been given to someone, just like you have to learn love, in my perspective, you have to learn hate. But it comes out of a type of entitlement, okay? And for many of us in the past, our ancestors had to deal with the hate because other people felt they were more entitled to the jobs, okay? Some people hate you because they feel like they're entitled to a position, okay? They're entitled to the spotlight, not knowing the backdrop oftentimes of why you're in that position, because man is not the only being that can promote you. God can promote you in ways that nobody will ever understand. And people wonder, how did you get there to why you're there? Because God says you're the best fit for that position. So hate can come out of a lot of things. But again, in my perspective, hate is a taught attitude. So at the end of the day, we need to come up with a backronym for ourselves, okay, of describing or giving a meaning to this unfortunate behavior, okay? So what I want to do at this point is just turn to a few scriptures for us to understand hate a little bit better, but we're going to be coming from the cool gel side of hate, which is the center of our love. Jesus is love. And we're going to look at some different perspectives about hate that may be kind of shocking to you, but it is totally in line with life today. So let's grab our Bibles, our highlighters, our pencils, our paper, whatever we need in order to get these scripts, and let's see what the Bible has to say in regards to this subject. All right, so if you are ready, I'm going to start with the Gill order. We're going to go to the Old Testament, and we're going to begin with Proverbs 8 and 13. So I may be a little sketchy because I got my notes everywhere, and like I said, I've been having a very busy week. We had a great loss in our family, and now I'm trying to get back on track with you. So Proverbs 8 and 13. Proverbs 8 and 13. And as you're looking for that, I'm going to go ahead and read. You can jot this down. You can read it later. It's a great subject of study that should be attended to. It says in verse 13, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way. And the forward mouth do I hate. What is a forward mouth? A hypocrite, somebody that says one thing and does another. Okay, so I think I mentioned this before in the last session. I was like, everybody hates a hypocrite, but sometimes you need to check yourself and see if you are also a hypocrite. Sometimes we judge others and we find out that in some other shape, form, and fashion, you may be just as guilty. Okay, so when it comes to hate, God said he hates evil. He hates pride. He hates arrogancy. And I can understand that, because someone is full of pride. It's like it's no room for change. The ego's in the way, just as well as arrogancy. Someone that knows everything. They got all the answers. Arrogancy. There's no room to learn. You're not a student. And you have to understand God is the master of master teachers. So if he can't teach you nothing, you're no good. So that's a karma in and of itself. Okay? And the evil way. Then those who are what I describe as a hypocrite with a forward mouth. You say something, but you can't back it up. Okay, let's go to Psalms 97 and 10. That's the book before Proverbs, okay? The book, just flip to the right, flip the pages towards the right. It's the book before Proverbs. And we're going to chapter 97 and verse 10. Okay. Ye that love the Lord hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. Ye that love the Lord hate evil. Well, what is evil? Okay, so it's a lot of things that needs to be defined, because sometimes you may think you know something and you realize that you don't. Okay, and we may be discussing this in the next session. Ye that love the Lord, you need to hate evil. This is a commandment. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. Well, that's already letting you know evil is wicked. Wicked people do evil. Okay? They are full of pride and arrogancy. Okay? They are full of a forward mouth. They are good at dissembling discord amongst the brethren. Okay? Let's go to Proverbs 10 and 12. And that's the book again. Flipping to the left. Okay, and back to Proverbs 10 and 12. And we in the Gill side. God is love. Okay, but in Proverbs 10 and 12, hatred stirs up strife. Hatred stirs up strife. But love covereth all sins. And I know that to be true. You may know that to be true. You've had a person or people to really do you wrong and treat you very, what we quote unquote, in an evil way, and somehow you're able to forgive, and look past the fault, especially when they ask for forgiveness, right? Because love does cover a multitude of wrongdoing. It really does. But hatred stirs up strife. It stirs up trouble. It causes battles. It causes mischief because of what's going on within them. Okay? There's a battle going on within the person that is full of hate. So oftentimes, what are they going to do? They're going to project it onto you. They're going to project it onto society. Because there's a lack of understanding. Somebody's been taught wrong. Somebody's been taught more hate than love. Somebody's mind is narrow. They feel that they can't love outside of a race. They can't love outside of a immediate family. They can't love outside of a nation, but you can. Love is universal. Okay? Just like hate is universal, love is universal. You can be whatever you want to be. But I will admit that you have to be taught. None of us coming in this world just knowing. We came in receiving information. Okay? So, this is the guild order. Now, I got a really interesting story we get ready to break down in regards to hatred. You know, because sometimes people feel they love you and then something shifts. And then it's like they don't love you no more. But my question is it really love? Okay, so we get ready to dabble in a story that's very interesting in the Old Testament here in 2 Samuel 13. Okay, 2 Samuel 13. So sit back, relax, and prepare for a great story that I am about to share with you. If you're not at that place yet, jot it down and read it later. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister, and fair in other words is beautiful, whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin. And Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. Okay? Now, when I look at this, I'm like, is this love or is this lust? Because we need to be able to devise the two. Okay? Verse 3. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Jonadab, the son of Shimeah, David's brother. And Jonadab was a very subtle man. And he said unto him, why art thou, being the king's son, lean from day to day? Wilt thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. And Jonadab said unto him, lay thee down on thy bed and make thyself sick. So now it's time to put on an act. That's the first mistake right there. Okay? Becoming cunning. So Jonadab said unto him, lay thee down on thy bed and make thyself sick. And when thy father cometh to see you, or thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come and give me meat, and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it and eat at her hand. So Amnon lay down and made himself sick. And when the king was come to see him, Amnon said unto the king, I pray thee, let Tamar my sister come and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat at her hand. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, go now to thy brother Amnon's house and dress his meat. You know, that's your brother. Go on, it's cool. Go. He's asking for you. He needs you. You know, like most parents want brothers and sisters to be close enough when they need each other, they down for each other. They right there for each other. You see what I'm saying? Then David sent Tamar, saying, go down to thy brother's house and dress his meat. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house. And he said, lay down. And he was laid down. And she took flour and kneaded it and made cakes in his sight and did bake the cakes. coming out of love. You know, I'm getting ready to serve my brother. You know, he's sick. He needs me. That's special. That's very special. And she took a pan and poured them out before him. But he refused to eat. And Amnon said, have out all the men from me. Have out all the men. I want everybody out of my house. All the people out of my house. And they went out, every man from him. And Amnon said unto Tamar, bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thy hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the chamber to Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her, and said unto her, come lie with me, my sister. And she answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly. Brother, what are you doing? Don't have me. I'm a virgin. Don't do this to me. Don't shame me. You know, there's a culture in effect here. And let me tell you something. And that culture is into this culture today. If that woman is raped, if she's molested, or anything like that, people tend to side with the man, even unto this day. And she answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly. And whether shall I cause my shame to go? She said, what I'm going to do with this shame? People going to be blaming me. I'm doing something out of love, and I'm getting ready to be hurt. But people are going to be blaming me. Women, wake up. And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Yeah, you know, ain't nothing going to happen to you. You just be a fool and maybe cat. I don't know. But it's going to be a lot of shame for me. Now, therefore, I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from you. Now, you can do this the right way. Just go ask the king, can we get together? Go ask the king for permission, for his blessing. You know, treat me right. Howbeit he would not hearken unto her. This is verse 14. Howbeit he would not hearken unto her voice. He wouldn't listen to her. But being stronger than her, forced her and lay with her. He raped her. That feeling was so overwhelming. You know, the Bible says the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. It was so overwhelming. He would not hear her. So you can't tell me that that was love. He thought it was love because of the way he felt. But love don't do this. Love will be patient and kind and honoring. He didn't love her. He was in lust with his sister. Whatever kind of sister that was. Okay. Then watch this in verse 15 though. He done raped this woman, his sister. And in 15, the audacity of him. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly. That's a lot of hate. So that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love, or what I would say, the lust, wherewith he had loved her. And Amnon said unto her, arise and be gone. Now he done tossed her like trash. Okay? And she said unto him, there is no cause. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other than thou didst unto me. But he would not hearken unto her. He would listen to her. He done did something very shameful. Now, just that quick, he went from his so-called loving feelings into full-blown hatred. And I understand why. Because his conscience. He knew. He knew it was he knew there was karma behind that. Really, is the secret gonna get out? That's where it's coming from. So quick. How we change when we don't get our way, or when we do something that's so improper Now we projecting our bad behavior onto an innocent person. Think about that for a moment. This is coming from somebody you would trust. All right? So let's go into the cool gel side. We're going to go to Luke 14 and 26. We're going to the New Testament. That's Luke 14 and verse 26. If you don't have time to find it, that's fine. Just write it down and study it later. Luke 14 and 26. Now this is coming from Jesus, Jesus. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brother and sister, ye and your own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Now we discussed this in the last session. Like Jesus, like if you don't hate where did that come from? Because just in Matthew 5, you was teaching love in verses 43 through 44. Let's go to that real quick. Ye have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. But he leveled up on it. Okay? It's not just a common physical law anymore. It becomes the law of the spirit. He says, but I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. But over here in Luke, somehow, his whole attitude changed, right? His whole attitude changed. Let's look at Ecclesiastes 3 and 8. Go back to the Old Testament. Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. All these books are kind of close together, okay? So after Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. And we're going to go to chapter 3 and verse 8. And I love Ecclesiastes because it breaks down the laws of nature, the laws of life. And verse 8 says, a time to love, a time to hate, a time for war, and a time of peace. Who's really setting the stage when we're dealing with time? Because it's a lesson to be learned. It has to exist in order for you to appreciate, to know what the opposite is. Remember, Paul said all things are permissible, but are all things edifying? Is it doing any good? Is it promoting? Is it progressing? Is it making things better in life? That's why laws come into being. Laws are necessary. Don't mean they're the truth, but they can be necessary. Especially when we're harming one another. Because to me, the only real crime is when you harm another person. Physically and financially. That's when you need to be serving time. Anything else can be dealt with. But that's a different kind of wrong. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to close out on Psalms 139, 21, and 22. Just go back a couple of books. And we're going to do verses 21 and 22. Again, another attitude about hate. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate you or thee. And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee. I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. This is David talking. You know, the one Tamar's father that we just read about, whose son just raped her, who went from all of this so-called love to an instant hate. Why? Because he knew he had did something wrong and it needed to be covered up. It was in his conscience. It may not be written, but I know. I know. Okay? So we're dealing with hate. And it says in Ecclesiastes 3, it's a time for everything. I wonder why it's a time for hate. In my experience, hatred has taught me a lot about myself. So the Most High may send you an enemy to elevate you so you can look in your own mirror, so you can see the weaknesses in yourself to see where it is where you need to improve. Because maybe you didn't never know hate. Now you have to know a little hate, even within yourself, to know which side of the fence is better for you in your walk in this life, on your journey, on your path to your higher consciousness, to your higher self. Okay? So again, even though this is the climax for the subject of hate, I'm still urging you to do the assignment and come up with a backronym. Find your own meaning for hate. What does it really mean to you? Having angst, hostile attitude towards entitlement. Because at the end of the day, hate, as far as I'm concerned, has a lot to do with somebody feeling entitled. And I'm going to leave it here until the next lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to support the station. Give some thumbs, some likes, share with your friends. This is a very necessary message, and I hope to see you for the next one. But until then, I pray that truth be your happiness and your healing. Child. Hey, welcome to the Soul Station here with the Spiritual Beat as your monthly October forecast. I would just like to say I know I'm behind, and I know it should probably count as a mid-month, but so much is happening in my life, honey. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still going to count it as October, and hopefully I can get you all a follow-up next week. And please pray for my family as we had a great loss. My sister lost her son, and we just laid him to rest last Saturday. So prayer warriors, those who are very connected to the divine, please send out special prayers for my sister and my oldest nephew, as well as myself and the rest of his family and friends. He was very loved, so he will be missed. All right, we're going to do the positive astral cards as opposed to the planetary cards for this lineup, and you have a nickel status reading, so we're going to pull from 7 decks, and you have a retro planetary force going on for October for your all over internal energy. Okay, a retrograde. It says retrograde describes the time when planets appear to be going backwards as they move through the zodiac cycle. Retrograde may be a time of weakness or challenge. However, it may also indicate positive circumstances or results. Many people are most familiar with the Mercury retrograde. Y'all know that's one of my favorite subjects. Since Mercury is the planet of communication and short trips, you may experience turbulences in these areas while Mercury is in retrograde. Well, that lifted on the 2nd, but you may be, to me, I feel the energy as you may feel like you're in a retrograde because of some of the events that's happening, okay? There is retrogrades. Jupiter is in Aries until the 26th. I'm not certain if that's a retrograde or not. And Neptune is in Pisces until December. Chiron is also in Aries until the 23rd of December. So I need to double check if these are retrogrades, because Mercury won't retrograde until after Christmas, around the 29th. Mars may be retrograding in Gemini the end of October. Okay, so it's relevant. Let's see, your external underlying energies is coming from the planet Jupiter. Okay, we love Uncle Jupes, right? And it says Jupiter represents abundance, optimism, and possibilities. It personifies wisdom and knowledge. Jupiter's energy is a grand and magnificent manifester. It is the planet of good fortune, assisting you in making your hopes and wishes come true. When you specifically focus on what you want and then take mental and physical action, Jupiter will support your efforts and provide opportunities. Jupiter's insight is philosophical and expansive. Its enlightenment assists you in making wise choices that may bring joy, prosperity, and health. Okay, so it's titled The Wise Teacher. Okay, so maybe you may be taking advice, which pays off as well. Going forward with plans. Now, I don't know if you know, going towards schools, like building your knowledge and skill, whether it's vocational, it doesn't matter, whether it's university academics, it doesn't matter. When you out trying to make things happen in terms of building a business or becoming self-employed, they're telling you if you take action now, Jupiter will be with you, but you may feel like things are coming against you, or people are returning that you don't want to see, or like they say, having to face challenges internally. But that's really because you got a lot of stuff to work out within yourself in order to execute your plan. Let's see what your mood is going to be like internally and externally, dear source, for our Centaurs and Man-Child for the month of October. So what are your mood swings internally and externally for the month of October? You have the dark moon internally. Didn't I say that? It's within you. And then you have the external, which is the woof. Okay, so you're definitely going to be seeking your prey, whatever that means. Spend time in contemplation and meditation in order to seek greater understanding of yourself and those around you. So yeah, there may be this month some disturbances, some challenges. You just may feel nagged. You know, you got a lot going on and people just everything is irritating. Like I said, it could be you. You just kind of need to pull back and acknowledge that and just find a positive way of handling your tension and your stress, okay? Because your approach to people can come off offensive when you're in that energy. You don't want that to interrupt your plans and what you're trying to do. And you definitely don't want to upset anyone that could possibly be in this Jupiter energy as well. Someone that can help you. You don't want to turn them off, okay? You don't want to take that energy and be expressing it outside yourself, because it's people, that get you where you're going. We see God's love and expression through other people. So you want to make sure that that's in check, because you will be in this wolf energy where your instincts will be wild. So you be ready to attack and anything, or go after anything that wherever your appetite, whatever you sense in terms of your appetite, you may want to kind of check that and just recognize everything is not for you. Everything is not worth your time, your energy. Everything is not worth going after. Okay, so just be careful with that. Be intentional, okay, be intentional and be specific about what you're going after. Don't just go after things just because you like it. Don't just go after things just because it turns you on. Those are the things that can get you in trouble. So be careful with that. You got to be conscientious about what you are preying on, okay? Let's see where your fortune lies for the month of October. Hopefully it's something you want to hear. If not, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm just of service here. Manna. It looks like manna, don't it? Kind of like a volleyball. It looks like an hourglass on the side, like it done fell over or something. Like a volleyball net or some type of fence. A soccer field. Look like a soccer field. Okay. Well, it says the self, the individual, or the human race. This is what your fortune is what it's dealing with. The self. And I'm thinking your higher self, because we just talked about checking yourself and being intentional and not just being wild and going after anything that you just feel attracted to or that you like, but checking yourself, the self, the individual or the human race, your attitude toward others and their attitudes towards you. This is no fabrication. Friends and enemies, social order. That's what this is dealing with, okay? So you got to mix everything. That's why you're going to have to check yourself That's why this, you don't want to be dealing with certain challenges. And I said people come back that you don't want to see. These could very well be your enemies, okay? Those that oppose you. All right, let's go ahead and get going with your spread. I'm giving everybody an equal amount of spreads with the cards this time around because I just stand with everything that's going on. I just feel like it's kind of making up. But depending on your status from your previous views, it will determine how many decks I use. Okay, there we go. Overall energy, we have the it's just the Five of Swords. It's based on the Queen of Pentacles energy. You can expect the Ten of Swords. It's coming out of the Four of Pentacles. We have an outcome of the High Priestess. We will discuss conflict and a challenge, and we will discuss your supportive energy. You may have seen that, but I flipped it over anyway. Your underlying energy is this meetup, the Two of Cups, and this could be an actual soulmate or just somebody that you may want to partner with. But it's a cool connection, okay? It's one that has promise if you are interested. You have to be interested. You can, not everybody you like you interested in, but there could be there's some type of connection, okay? And that connection could be that you are all on the same page, you know, you speak the same language, you know, you may have the same positions or wear the same hats at work. And you are in discussion or have been in discussion about meeting up, maybe doing something together. This could be a romance, matter of fact. It could be it could be a soulmate or potential soulmate connection. All right. And it's all based on this Queen of Pentacles. This could be you or someone outside of you. And this person is very responsible. They manage people. They manage the money. They manage the food. This could also be a leasing agent as well, someone at the leasing office. I'm hearing preparations. So she makes preparations, probably prepare memos, you know, handles the books, take account for who's paying, who's not paying, whatever. She has some type of authority. This can also be the person at a job, depending on what you do, like a lot of staffing agencies. She could be the person who can put you in place. But I see it's all coming out of this Four of Pentacles. Now you have come into some good, a good outcome. Okay, I don't know if this is money, if this is a basic plan that you've gotten together, but you are good. You have a foundation to go on, okay? And I feel like whatever it is, the basic needs are met. So you have enough to go on to get started, whether you start a business, whether you got, whether these are credentials, you know, your qualifications for a job, or you have your down payment in order to accept maybe a new place to stay. Who knows what it is, but whatever it is, you're pushing through. This is rescue. Something has come through for you. You've been rescued, okay? I don't know where it's coming from. Some of you, I'm hearing a trust, some type of trust. It could be insurance. This could also be a loan as well. When I look at this Queen of Pentacles, this could also be borrowing money. I don't know if it's one of those advanced loans, payday loans. I don't know. That's what it looks like, a lot like a payday loan. But whatever it is, it's a refuge for you. Okay, it saves the day. It's going to help you get started. It's going to be just the thing you need to pull yourself up, okay, to get out of this crutch that you've been in, okay? You've been hurting. You've been going through. For some of you, this may be related to a death or some dire circumstances that you were in. Let's see what it is. Let's get some root cards here, okay? See the reason for this Four of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. This source for our Sagittarius and men child. We have sin and we have Z or Zay. Okay, let's put this together. sin. Since it's popped over here on this. It's popped over here on this solution. Okay, this sin is Proto-Indo-European. Okay, and it means old or something old, or could deal with old age or an elder. Okay, sin. And you have Z or Z, which is English. The gender unknown, Albanian. It's an unclear origin. And then it deals with soul. So, gender unknown. I don't know if this is dealing with a pregnancy or not, or maybe you don't know who you're talking to. You're not sure. I don't know. But the gender is unknown. And then it also deals with the soul. So this may be dealing with an old soul. Okay? I don't know if this is a transsexual you're dealing with or not. But you may be dealing with an old soul. This may be dealing with something that you're applying for, and you may check that you don't want to share your gender, okay? Some people do that. They ask you if you want to know, and you just tell them you choose not to answer that question. For others of you, it's Albanian. It has their roots in Albanian language, and it deals with an unclear origin. They may not know where you come from. Okay, that may be one of those check the boxes. You got people that are serious about that. You don't need to know my origin. You don't need to know my race. You just need to know I'm a person. Okay, but you're gonna push through after some type of some message you're trying to get across to somebody. I don't know if you're trying to show out or prove something with this thing that you want to get off your chest, off your shoulders. Something's been a burden, but you definitely want to be direct in how you handling it. But I feel like it's a burden on you. Whatever it is that you want to express, what you want to get across, that you want to make stick, it's been a burden on you. Okay, you've been thinking about this for a while. You may be thinking about this for as long as 2 winters, okay? About how to say this, because see, you got all the information, you got enough money, you got a plan, a foundation. And this could be you being the Queen of Pentacles, coming to the refuge for someone else. Maybe because they can pay, or maybe because you can provide for them. You have enough, okay, to stabilize the situation, or you have all the information you need in order to get something off the ground, because you've been hurting. You've been hurting, or someone's been hurting. This doesn't have to necessarily be you. This could be someone outside of you, okay? They just need a little boost here. You got everything you need to make preparations. I also see this as like enough to make plans, enough to pay bills. Keep hearing an old soul, though. An old soul, with the outcome being the high priestess, okay? I don't know if this is you or someone outside of you, but your outcome, this is a revelation, or keeping something secret, okay? Keeping it to yourself based on your plans, based on what you're gestating, okay? You go from gestation to manifestation, right? This is gestating here, and you keeping it to yourself, what you're trying to get off the ground, that you've been suffering for, okay? And I see the overall energy is about being impressive, getting across to somebody, but sometimes this could be kind of slick. I don't know if this is you or someone else, you know. I don't know if this is a little bit of showing off, you know, or just trying to let somebody know, you know, I got what you need, you know. I got what you need. You want what I got type of attitude, like it's all here. You don't have to look nowhere else. But, you know, it's kind of like a sly, slick way of bringing it across to capture someone's attention. But they have to go and think about that shit. Again, it's kind of like I see manna in here. Okay, I said you've been struggling, you've been going through some stuff, and now God is sending a little manna towards you. The heavens is providing a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But that's all you have. It's something that must be managed, okay? It must be managed. You must build up on this, okay? So you're not quite out of the steep. You can be. You're not quite out of. You're not totally where you can be, but you have a great start, okay? I always look at this as my Master P. When he first got started, and he came into a little fortune after his grandmother had passed, but he had already had a plan, right? And look at him today. He went from the little imp to Master P, Emperor, okay? To play with it, okay? Play with it. But I see the outcome. You're going to keep it to yourself. Now, let's see what your challenge is this Ace of Cups. I'm hearing I'm sorry, an apology, a confession, and also a determination. This could be pregnancy here. This could be a pregnancy test. That's where that's coming from. You don't know the gender. That card failed. Okay, well, that card failed. So this is definitely the conflict and a challenge, you know, pregnancy here. Confession. I don't know if you have to confess to somebody else. Maybe it's not their baby. Maybe that's the secret being kept. You know, we do have the high priestess here. Okay. Or maybe she's going to reveal it to you herself. I don't know. But that is, I'm hearing waving. I don't know if they're waving at you or wavering. So this may be a paternity test issue coming up. I don't know, maybe why you need to meet up, or maybe that's what's coming out of this meeting, out of this soul connection. Okay. But funny thing about what's going to help you, which is so weird to me, is the Nine of Swords. It's going to be your blessing. I don't know if this is a person or if this is you, but this is dealing with your fears and anxieties and your worries. This is getting this shit off your mind, and this is sorting out your problems. Always bringing back that biblical scripture where it talks about laying down on your bed and searching out your heart. Okay, this is mental anguish here. Okay, this is some shit you got. And sometimes it just feels good to be honest. Did I say it was a confession here? And the beauty of that is once you confess and let it go, it's over. You ain't got to live with it no more. It is done. Okay, if this is about forgiveness, okay, if you ask somebody to forgive you, if they can't do it, that's on them. That ain't on you. You don't have to worry about that no more. Okay? But at least you have to ask to get true forgiveness. If not, you're going to keep worrying about it. It's going to stay on your mind. Okay? Now, this could be wifey for you males, because I do see this as wifey. Okay, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe you need to let it out. Let it out the bag that you got another baby coming in the world, maybe, or maybe confessing your faults one to another. Like the Bible says, confess your faults one to another. And God will be in the midst of that confession. Okay? So you have intentional energy. You have energy that you are being forced to deal with this month in October. And it's got a lot to do with confiding, confessing, okay, and comfort. Because this can be comforting. You need comfort. That's like you need source or spirit to let you know it's okay. Because this is definitely a master plan as well. Okay? This is the beginning of something new, a startup. It's coming out of a startup. It's coming out of some type of inheritance, some building an empire type attitude, type mindset. Here is very intentional, and I see that you're going to be able to push through it. You're going to be able to, or somebody's coming in that is actually breaking through harsh situations. Like they've been in like life and death situation, like really, like the Ten of Swords in reverse is like death. Literally, it's like murder. Okay, but it's in reverse. So you or this person is being rescued, being has found a refuge, is pushing through, and it's because of this plan or this inheritance, this startup. Okay, something good, and that's a beautiful thing. But there's still some things that need to be resolved. You know, you need a resolution. You need a resolution. You don't need that confusion. Where were you last night? I let you sleep on the couch. No, you let me sleep on the couch. I thought we were going out. I wanna know. So I don't know. That's got anything to do with it. But whatever it is, it's known. Okay? I don't know if it's kept or if it's being revealed. All right? I don't know. When you will, but we're going to sum it up for October. Because we had a long lesson this month, did we? The climax was long, but it was necessary. I hope you enjoyed it. And please remember to support the station. It's very, very, very necessary, okay? And it is needed. Please promote the station. We have a lot to learn here, okay? You students, and you are the sign of the student. You have elephant. This elephant is awesome. It's something that's the elephant. This is the matriarch. You know, the elephant is known for creating culture, for being one of the first animals for creating culture. And you would do well to study the elephant. It also deals a lot with memory, you know, things let off, forsake. Did we talk about forgiveness? Be forgot and let all acquaintance be forgot. Remember, we said there's going to be some people you ain't going to want to see. Retrograde is active in your chart this month, and you just, you know, you got to let that shit go. You know, own up to your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Stand your ground. If someone has abused or misused you, you know, sometimes you got to do that. But I'm feeling like there is definitely a need to let go. You got to sort out some stuff. You got to overcome your anxieties and your fears. Let's get you a written word, and then we're going to close out. Okay? So, Source, how would you like for me to end this forecast for Centaurs and Man-Child for their October monthly forecast? What is your message for Centaurs and Man-Child for this month? Don't be adamant about certain likes and dislikes. Be flexible and try out different possibilities as well as opportunities that life presents you with. This way you will know how to fully live your life. And that is from the words of the great Sadhguru. He is an Indian guru, and I'm gonna leave it here. Sometimes in Man-Child, hope you enjoyed it. Hope it works out for you. Thanks you so much for tuning into the Soul Station here with the Spiritual Bee. Once again, I can't wait to bring you another one, hopefully by next week. But until then, take care of yourself.